This video is going to focus on People's Choice users who invoice, but they don't use perpetual inventory, but they do use a list of products and services to speed the entry of creating new invoices. So in this demo, in our setup, the way we have it set up, we have in our Sales and Invoicing tab, we have a basic invoice. We're using the sequential invoice numbering system. And in the inventory setup, we have perpetual inventory off. We're not categorizing. We're not using special price levels. We're just using the basic information. And in our general ledger setup, we're not going to have anything in tracking inventory or cost of goods sold. Now, you could put in a cost of goods sold, but it's not necessary. Typically, you just want a default installation. But if you did decide you wanted to track your costs, you could do that particular one. But we're just going to leave it this way. We can still track our costs by invoice. And so in the setup of the items, we have some set up in the demo, but you can go into purchases and go into inventory. And these are some that we've already set up. But if you wanted to create a new one, and we'll call it a Gidget. So we'll click new, and you can have any code you want. So in this case, we're going to call it a Gidget. And it's a service item. And it's a Gidget. It could be any description. It could be a long description if you prefer. We'll just keep it simple. And these Gidgets that we sell are $20 a piece, and we sell it for $40. So that's what you do for the basic setup. For a default GL account, you go to page 3, and it's already defaulted to that sales account that we set up in the general ledger, but you could go in and change it to a different GL account and click done. So when you go to invoice, you would go to sales, go into invoices, click new. If you need to override the invoice number, you can. If you wanted to change the invoice, you can. We're just going to pick another customer, and we're going to sell 5 of the Gidgets that we just set up. And that'd be $200, but they're also going to get 3 widgets. They're $110. But we noticed that we forgot to update the price. Now you can go in and just override the price, but the next time you select widget, it's still going to come up with 110. So if you want to change the default, you can go back over here, double click on it, and you can go ahead and now it's $120, let's say, and this is now $60. And click done. You'll want to reselect it to reflect that new price change. Now it's $120. But now we notice that we don't have an installation for the Gidget, so we're going to create a new code, and it's going to be an hourly code, but we'll double click on this, and you'll see it brings up a blank code. You can find an existing one if you wanted to, but this is going to be a Gidget install, whatever you want to use for an item code, or can be a shorter one than that. So a Gidget hourly installation, and it's still a service. We're doing everything as a service since we're not doing it as a perpetual. And our we subcontract this out, and it's $40 an hour for us to cost, but we're going to charge $65 an hour for it. And again, you could go back and override this if you wanted it to be like service income instead of general sales. So now when we go into here, we can select hourly installation, takes 5 hours times the 65 for the 325. On each of these items, you can set it up as taxable. So let's say the widgets were taxable. You can make it default to be taxable and click done, and you'd reselect it, and you can see that it made it taxable. Or you can set it up in the inventory as not taxable and then click to be taxable. So you have some flexibility there. But the main purpose of this video was just to show you how you can quickly set up items and fill in the description, default price, default GL account, and can greatly speed up the entry of new invoices. And that's how you come down here. Since we made this taxable, we come down here so that it added the tax to the system. And then if you were on a cash basis, you could go ahead and print, but it's not going to post to the general ledger. If you're on an accrual basis, then you would go ahead and post. And that's how you can set up different inventory items, even though you're not using perpetual inventory, but you want to fill them out to keep speed up the entry of new invoices.